"I feel like I need a shower," Dee announced, and I was standing on the other side of the glass. "He puts the creep in creepy," Rainie agreed. Now that they were out of the room, door closed behind them, the distaste was plain on her face. Quincy was frowning, still turning over the conversation in his mind. "Clearly Ringham was interested in a personal relationship with Jaylen Banks," he said. 4 visits to her apartment. He glanced at Dee. "Nice work on your part." "Thank you. Every now and then I try to be competent, even when the case is 10 years old. But for all his secret desires, it's not clear Ringham ever managed so much as a hello to Jaylen Banks in person. Even more interesting, he didn't spot some mysterious new man in her life, but a woman, an older female, who might have just been a second person using the computer lab, of course. Or... They all stared down the hall, to their open 4th door. "There's no evidence Jaylen Banks was bisexual," Dee said. "Maybe the woman was a friend?" Rainie asked. "Or, given the age, maybe one of Jaylen's professors, helping her out on an assignment?" "Right before Jaylen is strangled to death in the library stairwell?" Dee arched a brow skeptically, then opened her personal notebook on the case. "As I said, we've been running down the names of everyone who used their student passes to access the library that night, which, for the record, would include staff IDs as well. As Quincy explained to Ringham, this is the classic closed-room murder. Whoever killed Jaylen Banks should be listed on either the electronic log generated by the student passes or on the guard's manual log of guests. We've interviewed 57 of 60 names, documented endless stories of I was asleep, or making out in this corner, or, heaven forbid, working so hard on my homework I never even realized a girl was murdered that night. Since students often worked in clumps, most were able to alibi one another. But we do have 3 names we're still working on." Dee flipped through a sheaf of papers. "All right, here we go. There is one female we haven't been able to locate. Her ID doesn't list her as a professor, but as a student. Erin Pizzi. According to the detective's note, lives in England. Too old." Dee frowned, looked at them, frowned again. "Too old sounds promising," Rainie said. "It confirms Ringham's story of an older woman." "Yeah, but Erin Pizzi. Does that name sound familiar to you? Because I feel like I've heard it somewhere before. Pizzi. Huh. Something's off here. I'm going to ask my squad mate Phil to personally track down this Erin. He's my best when it comes to computer searches. I'm sure he'll hit us back shortly with more information. At which point, maybe our 4th man will actually turn out to be a woman," Quincy said, glancing at the open door down the hall. "I'm all for equal opportunity," Dee assured him, "even when it comes to murder." She got on her cell, started dictating new search info to her detective, then, just as quickly, had her phone slip back into her pocket. She glanced at her watch. "Almost noon. Shall we?" "Bachelor number 3, Quincy agreed. Laurel Santana, the 2nd security guard who'd been working that night, and the one who'd finally discovered Jaylen Banks's lifeless body. Dee took up position in the hall. They went back to work.